Well, good evening, folks, and welcome back to the farm. The challenge of the day, as it were, is that once again we are out of grazing space for our lambs that are going to market. The tags I ordered from the I gotta order them like CCID tags or CSID tags, I think they're called. Anyways, you order them from the Wool Growers Association, so they're sitting in Lethbridge now. Should be mailed up here in a few days, and then I'll make arrangements with an auction mart. Fella can come with a big truck and haul away what we're going to haul away. But in the interim, I certainly don't want to just be rationing out of the grain shed. I want to keep them on grass. So it's time to move the electric net again. And you'll recall a few weeks back, actually, that this forested section down there, you can see is just very quickly turning from green to orange to yellow to going to be brown and on the ground. But anyway, there's still quite a bit of grass on one side of the fence, not the side of the fence that the sheep are on. And so I'm going to extend that net from where I've currently got it out further into the bush, which means it's time to fire up the chainsaw. Now, what chainsaw to use? So when my wife and I were dating, I think it was my birthday or Christmas, I can't remember, one year she bought me a Poulan chainsaw. This one right here, I've actually still got it. And it's a P3416 model, 16-inch bar. And it's like holding a brick with flying steel going around the end. It's heavy. And it's not super easy to start, but for all intents and purposes, if you need a chainsaw, you can buy this for $300 and say that you own a chainsaw. We had it when we lived on the acreage, and for the little bit of stuff that we had to do around the acreage, worked fantastic. Moved to town for a few years. It was kind of overkill for town. But then for Christmas one year, my mother-in-law got me and my brother-in-law's all one of these. The Stihl MS-170. So much lighter, much easier to start. Pretty much the same bar and chain, slightly different chain. It's I think that one's an S56 on the Poulan and this one's an S55. So just a slightly different chain. But again, this is good if you're just kind of doing stuff around your backyard. If you're hauling on the back of the snowmobile or the side-by-side and you just want to clear a trail, something like that. But if you want to set up camp and you want to take this for the weekend, well, Monday morning you better be ready to go to Northern Metallic and buy a new chain for it, because there's really not anything to file and sharpen on these things, and it's hardly worth your time. It's just easier to pay the few dollars, $16 I think, for a new chain and just replace it. Anyways, that all said, this Christmas, my mother-in-law once again come up, let's get everybody chainsaws. And she got me a Milwaukee chainsaw, a little 8-inch Milwaukee chainsaw for just nipping buds and brushes and little things like that. And I was like, that's kind of neat, but it's, in terms of usefulness, not super useful. And in terms of integration into the tools I currently own, which my cordless power tools I currently own are all DeWalt. So I said, well, would you be offended if I just went and traded it in? And she's like, no, go get what you want. So I took it back and then went to PV Mart and I got this little DeWalt XR 20 volt. It's got a 12-inch bar on it, and this is fantastic for the back of the side-by-side. This is fantastic for going to check fence. You don't have to mix gas. You just throw some bar oil in it and put a fresh battery in, and away you go. And it's fantastic. Lasts for a couple hours. You got anything big to do, like some 6-inch logs, or even 4-inch, like it's working hard. But if you got to lop something off a piece of barbed wire or something like that, tree branches sitting on the barbed wire, works good. But I've got to get into this forested section and change the world. So fast forward from Christmas to my birthday in August. My wife says, what do you want? And I said, I want a steel blade for this brush cutter that will actually cut brush. This is just a interesting one that still sells, that is good in tall, dry grass and things like that. But if you want to get into some, thick sticks or anything like that, it just kind of pushes them out of the way and it doesn't do a lot. And I was like, no, I want to have like a circular saw blade that will just destroy everything in its path. Lilac bushes, roses, anything at all. Like dangerous enough that I'm going to be in the doghouse if I hit the wrong thing. That's what I was looking for. Anyway, so she bought me one. it turned out that it had a 1-inch arbor, and this particular model of saw has a 1 1/4 inch arbor, so it was the wrong size. So anyways, I took that blade that she bought me back to Northern Metallic the other day, and as one does, you can't help but, while you're standing at the desk, peripheral vision catches, hey, chainsaws are on sale. All right, so easier to beg forgiveness than it is to ask permission. So I went and I got myself a real chainsaw here. So it even come with the free case. So I mean, that makes it worthwhile right there. It actually come with a free hat too. Yeah, so this is the Stihl MS291 50cc chainsaw. Comes standard with a 20-inch bar. However, Northern Metallic downsizes that to an 18-inch bar. And the theory there is that the bar to motor ratio is just better. Like in terms of power usage, horsepower usage, you're actually better with a shorter bar instead of keeping too much bar and maybe taking too big of bites. But anyways, we're gonna, they said they ran it up and everything and checked everything, but I don't know if there's any. Yeah, there's a little bit of gas in there. I'll top up the gas. Not sure what they give me for bar oil, but they did all the hot checks, running checks and everything. So it's gonna, yeah, bar oil's full. So I'll just top up the gas a little bit here. And we're gonna go down the hill and see if we can blaze a trail. So I've had a few folks comment and a few folks ask the question recently about, because we've had fuel problems, right? Well, mostly in the larger stuff, not so much the small engines. But the questions come up anyways about what do we run for fuel in the small engines? So the saws, the weed whacker, things like that. I'm running this Aspen fuel, and we get this from Keddy's in Grand Prairie. It's about $45 for one of these jugs. But I can put fuel in this saw and I can come back 2-3 years from now and it's gonna fire right up and go, right? So stabilized is fantastic, and it's already 2-stroke, and it's just very, I don't have to worry about fuel lines plug-in or gumming up or any of that nonsense. It starts every time, first time, but it is expensive. And where I first learned about this is the work I do in the fire service, and you know, things like the jaws of life, generators, you know, a variety of different power tools, saws, we gotta cut a hole in the roof, you need a big chainsaw. It's got to fire and it's got to run at optimum performance right now. And so that's what we use. And it costs quite a bit more, but you know, you never have to dump any of it out into a coffee can and drain your tank, and you never have to clean your carbs, and you don't have to mix any of it. So it is pretty awesome. So I'm down here now beside the forested section, and you can see just across the fence, it's like where the Pacific meets the Atlantic, right? There's a very clear line where that fence was, and they have munched this down, and that's fantastic. The work they've done to clear this out, I'll be able to come in there with the big boy saw now and actually buck up some of this stuff and use it for firewood. But yeah, so it's a lot easier to navigate your way through some of that stuff now. However, this is where I want to go through, and I got part way through here, but it's just kind of zigzagged wherever it was clear, but I'm looking for a straight line if I can make a straight line. So that log for sure has got to get bucked up. But yeah, I'm gonna go through this spooky little forest here. If this was Halloween or maybe an hour and a half later, this would get kind of harem scarum in here. But yeah, this is where we're going to cut our way through. Well, I got to say, things were going swimmingly with the big boy saw, blazing a trail through the bush here. As you can see, it is thick bush. However, I got to right here, and there's a log right there, kind of on the ground. And all of a sudden, I seen a spark, and a chain come flying off the bar. I was like, well, what on earth is going on there? I blew a nut, and the other one's about ready to fall off. So that is one thing I did not check. Should have, that's my bad. I should have checked, but I was at Northern Metallic and they were like, no, we're gonna run it up. We're gonna make sure everything's perfect for you. When you take this saw out, it's ready to go to work. Trust but verify, I guess, right? So yeah, I'm done. In this, am I gonna find that nut? Not a chance. Not a chance. So I was going back to Northern Metallic tomorrow. They can find me a new nut, and I won't give them too hard of a time. But that really is inconvenient. So lucky for me, I didn't lose this, and lucky for me, I have another still saw. So that MS-170 I got, I'm just gonna go steal a nut off of that saw, so I can keep that big beast running for the night, because I got about that much daylight left, and no fence up to keep the lambs in overnight. They're just kind of penned up in a corral right now, and that's not an option for more than a couple hours. So there we go, one big board and stolen. I'm gonna make sure that's on there damn tight now, and hopefully don't lose another one into the bush. It'd be really cool if I walked over there and I saw the nut that fell off glinting in the moonlight or something like that. But maybe, just maybe, when the lambs eat that grass down, it'll become visible. But for now, we'll use a spare. All right, so I got the saw back and running. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just leaping over that fence there. But yeah, I got the nut off the 170 onto the 291. It fits. Got everything spinning again there. Bucked a couple more logs, and I've made my path through the forest. I got my original 2 lengths kind of strung to the perimeter where they're gonna go, and now I've got to untangle this mess. I rolled it up as best as I could the other day, last week I think. But I just know from when I unrolled the other one, this was this one right here, that I was almost emotional trying to unroll it, because it was just like a ball. It was just like a ball of plastic wire twine, and I just wasn't making any headway. So wish me luck. We're gonna see if we can unwrap this thing. So I'm getting there, but I'm a little bit tangled right here. Try not to get it too bad. Trying to get into the middle here and find that sweet spot somewhere in there. I feel like chicken tonight. I feel like chicken tonight. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle, this is where I gotta get access to this, so I might need to toss a few. Maybe that's it. No. Toss that one over. Can you see it? No. Toss that one over. Somewhere I'm gonna find unrestricted access. That's not it. I think I just gotta come, maybe just take the whole thing over. Is that it? No, that's not it either. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the end I need. Is that it? Is that it? That is not it. My goodness. My goodness. Thank goodness you're here with me, because I would be probably saying bad words if I were here all by myself dealing with this. Good thing, I tell you, I could never be a fisherman on a boat dealing with nets, because I'd be I'd probably do all right, because I don't think they have an HR department on the fishing boat, but there'd be more than one offended person on the boat, that's for sure. All right, now I'm done. As you can see, it is really dark. You can't even see the fence. I can see the fence. I wish I would have left myself a set of glow-in-the-dark breadcrumbs or something to that effect. But I'm gonna try and find my chainsaw. Only one incident, well, 2 incidents actually. The chain coming off, losing the nut, the chain coming off. That's one incident, and then me reaching around to put the chain brake on while the saw was tipped on its side and touching the hot exhaust and burnt the ever-living shit out of the cuticle of my pointer fingertip on my left hand, so that's interesting. That feels right dandy. There's my saw. Anyways, final verdict on the what is it, MS291. Good saw. Never trust a fellow that says he's taking care of it. Always verify. But cuts like a hot damn. Cuts through this stuff in the bush like a hot knife through half melted butter. You can get kind of out here with a little bit of light. A little bit of light behind me. Hey, at least you'll see my silhouette, if nothing else. But I'm going to open up the corrals back here. Chase the sheeps back out into the woods for the night. And I'm going to follow them all the way along the fence line until I find an energizer. I turn that puppy on. And somewhere on the other side in the darkness is a side-by-side. So I'll take that up to the house, fix up a cup of tea, and call it a night. So I'll let you go for now. Hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.